Hello everyone, welcome once again in the video lecture of Communication Engineering Unit 2. So in today's video lecture we are going to discuss about the two types of frequency modulation technique, that is narrowband FM and wideband FM. In the last video lecture we have seen that frequency modulation can be categorized as narrowband FM and wideband FM depending upon the value of modulation index beta. If the value of modulation index beta is much lesser than 1, or we can say if the deviation is very small, then we can say the FM will be a kind of narrowband FM. Narrowband means the bandwidth will be small. If the value of modulation index beta is much greater than 1 or is greater than 1, that is if the deviation is more, then we can consider the FM is a kind of wideband FM. That means the bandwidth in such kind of frequency modulation will be large. So we have also obtained the single tone FM expression, that is AC cos 2 pi fct plus beta sin 2 pi fmt, where AC is the amplitude of the carrier signal, Fc is the frequency of the carrier signal, beta is modulation index, that is del f upon Fm, that is the ratio of frequency deviation to the maximum frequency component present in the massive signal. Fm is the frequency of our modulating signal. Depending upon this value of beta, this FM can be of narrowband FM and can be of wideband FM. Now let us start with narrowband FM. How we can convert the standard single tone FM expression in a narrowband FM expression. So to obtain the expression for narrowband FM signal, let us first consider the standard single tone expression for frequency modulated waveform, that is AC cos 2 pi fct plus beta sin 2 pi fmt. Expanding this expression, that means opening the bracket, while with the help of the trigonometric properties cos of a plus b, that is cos a cos b minus sin a sin b, we will get AC cos of 2 pi fct into cos beta sin 2 pi fmt minus AC sin 2 pi fct sin of beta sin 2 pi fmt. Here we will consider, as we are obtaining the expression for narrowband FM, and the condition for narrowband FM is that the beta should be much lesser than 1. So considering for NBFM waveform beta much lesser than 1, we can approximate above expression like cos of beta sin 2 pi fmt approximately equals to 1. For a smaller value of beta, we know that for a smaller value of angle theta, cos of theta can be approximated as 1, while for a smaller value of angle theta, sin of theta can be approximated as theta. So with the help of these two relations, here we are considering for smaller value of theta, the cos theta can be approximated as 1, and for smaller value of angle theta, sin theta can be approximated as theta. So with the help of these two analogies, we can mention if the value of beta for NBFM is much lesser than 1, then cos of beta sin 2 pi fmt, if this is the angle and if this angle is much smaller, then we can consider cos of this angle approximately equals to 1, while sin of this angle is approximately equals to the value of this angle, that is beta sin 2 pi fmt. Okay. So we can approximate this expression with the help of these two as AC cos 2 pi fct, this we have approximated as 1, minus AC beta sin 2 pi fct sin 2 pi fmt, where we have approximated sin of beta sin 2 pi fmt as beta sin 2 pi fmt. Okay. So we will get this expression after using this condition. Again, with the help of trigonometric relationship, we can express this expression like AC cos 2 pi fct plus AC beta by 2 cos 2 pi fc plus fmt minus cos 2 pi fc minus fmt. With the help of sin A sin B, by obtaining the expression of sin A sin B, we can mention the second term like this one. Moving forward, expanding the last expression, that is we will get the expression St is equals to AC cos 2 pi fct plus AC beta by 2 cos of 2 pi fc plus fmt minus cos of 2 pi fc minus fmt, where AC is the amplitude of the carrier, fc is the frequency of the carrier signal, beta is the modulation index, and fm is the frequency of modulating signal. So, if we observe this equation, that is the expression for NBFM, it is much similar to the expression of amplitude modulated signal, where in this expression we will get, in case of amplitude modulation, the expression will remain same, with the difference here instead of getting negative sign we will get a positive sign. Here the beta represents the modulation index for the case of FM signal, and in amplitude modulation here we used to represent mu, that is the modulation index of amplitude modulated signal. So, this expression of NBFM that we have obtained is very much similar to the expression of amplitude modulated signal, except that the lower sideband, this is the lower sideband, if I will mention the first term, it is equivalent to the carrier. The second term, where we are getting the summation of carrier and modulating signal frequency, it can be considered as upper sideband. The third one can be considered as lower sideband, while the first term can be considered as carrier. So, this expression of NBFM that we have obtained is very much similar to the expression of AM signal, except that the lower side frequency is having a negative sign. So, if we want to represent this in the form of a spectrum, we can draw the spectrum by taking Fourier transform of this equation. Here we have the spectrum representation of NBFM signal. It is a one side spectrum representation, where this is indicating the carrier, Fc plus Fm is indicating the upper sideband, Fc minus Fm, here in the lower sideband we are having a negative sign. So, it can be drawn, the direction of arrow can be drawn downwards. So, it will indicate lower sideband. So, this is the spectrum representation of NBFM expression, one sided spectrum representation. If we will compare this NBFM, it is almost similar to a amplitude modulated signal, or with the only difference there that here we are getting a negative sign. If we want to calculate the bandwidth, what improvement we are getting if we want to compare this NBFM with AM signal. So, first of all, here also we are getting the three terms, carrier signal, lower sideband and upper sideband. So, there will be no difference in transmitting power. The power required for transmitting this NBFM signal will similar to the power required for transmitting an amplitude modulated signal. If we want to calculate the bandwidth requirement, so in this case also the bandwidth of NBFM signal is twice of FM, which is same as in the case of amplitude modulated signal. So, if we are performing frequency modulation and if we are performing narrow band frequency modulation, then there is no difference in NBFM and amplitude modulation. Moving forward, how we can generate now a narrow band FM signal. So, we have obtained the expression, now we can generate a NBFM signal with the help of this block diagram, where first the massive signal is required to be passed from an integrator. The output of this integrator will be the integration of the massive signal. Then we will have a DSB-SC modulator. What this DSB-SC modulator will do, it will provide us the product of the signal applied to its input. One of the input is integration of the massive signal. The another input to this DSB-SC modulator is the 90° phase shift value of the carrier signal. Here we have a local oscillator that is generating a carrier signal. The 90° phase shift of the carrier signal will go to this DSB-SC modulator. So, the output of this DSB-SC modulator will be the product of this integrated version of the massive signal and the phase shift 90° phase shift version of the carrier signal. Here we have then the adder. What this adder will do, it will add the output of this DSB-SC modulator and directly the carrier signal. So, finally at the output what we will get, a frequency modulated signal. Here SFMT will be equals to AC cos 2 pi FCT minus AC sin 2 pi FCT integration of MT dt. So, at this point what we are getting, AC cos omega CT, that is AC cos 2 pi FCT. This is mentioned here. The another input to this adder is ET, which is the multiplication of integrated version of the masses signal, that is this portion, and another is the 90-degree phase shift version of the carrier signal, that is minus AC sin omega CT or sin 2 pi FCT, that is this one. So the output of this adder will be this equation. Rearranging this equation, we will get the ST is equals to AC cos 2 pi FCT plus AC beta by 2 cos 2 pi FC plus FMT minus cos 2 pi FC minus FMT. That is the standard expression for our narrowband FM signal. So with the help of this arrangement, we can generate a narrowband FM signal. But the point to be noted that there is no difference, we can say, between an NBFM signal and an amplitude modulated signal, other than that in the lower sideband we will get a negative sign. But the bandwidth requirement and the power requirement for transmitting a narrowband FM signal and an amplitude modulated signal will be same. Now moving towards the next category of frequency modulated signal, that is wideband frequency modulation. First we will obtain the expression for wideband FM signal, then we will observe what benefits we are getting if we will use or if we will transmit our signal with the help of wideband frequency modulation. So starting our derivation by mentioning the standard expression for single tone frequency modulation signal, that is AC cos 2 pi FCT plus beta sin 2 pi FMT. Expanding this expression with the help of cos of A plus B property, that is cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. So at this point where we are getting some beta terms in this expression, we cannot neglect or we cannot consider that this cos of angle and this sine of angle will be equals to 1 or will be equals to the value of theta, because in case of wideband FM the value of beta is much greater than 1. So we cannot minimize these two terms. So in case of wideband FM, then how we will represent this expression? We can represent this expression with the help of Bessel's function and with the help of representing the same expression in terms of its complex envelope. How we can do? Writing this expression in terms of its complex envelope, we know that e raised to the power j theta can be expressed as cos of theta plus j sin theta. Okay, what is the first term? This is the real part and the second term is the imaginary part. So how we are going to write this expression in terms of its complex envelope? We are mentioning real part of AC exponential of j2 pi FCT plus j beta sin 2 pi FMT, e raised to the power j2 pi FCT plus j beta sin 2 pi FMT. When we will expand this e raised to the power j theta, we will get cos theta plus j sin theta. Okay, the second term. What we are considering here? We are considering here only the real part, because we are interested only in the real part. So we have mentioned this expression in terms of its complex envelope, where we are including only the real part, because in our expression there is only real terms. When we will expand this one and consider the real part of this expansion, we will get the same expression. So what we have done nothing, we are just rewriting this same expression in terms of the complex envelope. Further, reducing the expression as real part of s cap t exponential of j2 pi FCT. What is s cap t? S cap t is equals to AC exponential of j beta sin 2 pi FMT. Here this exponential of j2 pi FCT plus j beta sin 2 pi FMT can be divided in two terms, e raised to the power j2 pi FCT into e raised to the power j beta sin 2 pi FMT. So where we have considered e raised to the power j beta sin 2 pi FMT into AC as another symbol s cap t. Okay, so we can mention further this complex expression as real part of s cap t exponential of j2 pi FCT. Here I have mentioned how I am writing these expression in this box. We can take the reference of this box, AC cos 2 pi FCT plus beta sin 2 pi FMT. It is equivalent to real part of AC e raised to the power this angle term j 2 pi fct plus beta sine 2 pi fm t. Further, this can be represented as first term e raised to the power j 2 pi fct into e raised to the power j beta sine 2 pi fmt, out of which this second part into AC we have considered s cap t. Okay. So, we have rewritten our single tone FM expression in terms of its complex envelope. Now, looking carefully, this expression, this complex envelope is a periodic with the period t is equals to 1 upon Fm. If my expression or if my signal is periodic, then it can be expressed in terms of Fourier series. If this is a periodic signal, I can represent this signal as a Fourier series. How I can represent? This can be represented as s cap t summation and minus infinity to infinity Cn exponential of j 2 pi and fmt, where Cn is the complex Fourier transform, Fourier coefficient that and Cn can be calculated with the help of this expression. So, we have mentioned this expression according to our expression. We are calculating the value of this Fourier coefficient Cn according to our expression. This can be calculated as Fm integration from minus 1 upon 2 Fm to 1 by 2 Fm s cap t e raised to the power minus j 2 pi and Fmt dt. Solving this expression further, we will get Fm AC integrating from the limit 1 minus 1 upon 2 Fm to 1 upon 2 Fm exponential j beta sine 2 pi Fmt minus j 2 pi and Fmt dt. Now, in this expression mentioning 2 pi Fmt is equals to x, 2 pi Fmt we are substituting with another variable x. So, we will have a reduced expression, or we can say the reduced value of Cn as AC upon 2 pi integration from minus pi to pi exponential of j beta sin x minus nx dx, where x is equals to 2 pi Fmt. Okay. Why we have mentioned the Cn in terms of this, we will get to know. Now, we are going to use another function in this derivation, that is called Bessel's function. What is Bessel's function? We will discuss about the Bessel function after completing the derivation. Here we have considered the another function, that is called Bessel function. The nth order Bessel function of the first kind can be defined as, how we can define Bessel function for nth order, j and beta is equals to 1 upon 2 pi from minus pi to pi exponential of j beta sin x minus nx dx. This is how we used to represent nth order Bessel function. Now, if we will compare this nth order Bessel function with the complex coefficient Cn that we have evaluated in the last slide, that is this one. If we will compare the nth order Bessel function with this expression, we will get Cn is equals to AC Gn beta. Okay. So, Cn is equals to AC Gn beta. Here what we have done, we have mentioned the value of complex coefficient of Fourier series in terms of Bessel's function. Now, we can mention the value of complex envelope in terms of Bessel's function like s cap t is equals to AC summation n infinity to minus infinity to infinity j and beta exponential of j 2 pi and fmt. Here in the last expression what we were having, s cap t was equals to this one, where here at this point we are having Cn. Cn is equals to AC j and beta from this analogy. So, we have mentioned instead of Cn, AC into Jn, okay, Jn beta. Now, the Fm signal can be written s cap t, the value of this s cap t we can replace in our main expression. So, the Fm signal can be written like real part of AC summation n minus infinity to infinity Jn beta exponential of j 2 pi Fc plus n Fm t. Here we are considering only the real part. So, considering the real part of this expression, we will get the final expression for our wideband FM signal as AC summation minus infinity to infinity Jn beta cos of 2 pi Fc plus n Fmt. Okay. So, this is the final expression we are getting in the case of wideband frequency modulation. Now, let us discuss some points regarding this expression that we have just obtained. So this is the expression we can say for wideband FM signal, that is the case where modulation index is much greater than 1. With the help of this expression, now we can draw the spectrum of WBFM signal. By taking the Fourier transform of this expression, we will get S of f AC by 2 Jn beta del of f minus Fc minus NFM plus del of f plus Fc plus NFM, where n is varying from minus infinity to plus infinity. So what it is indicating, it will keep on changing the value of n, and n is existing from minus infinity to plus infinity. So the number of sidebands will also exist from minus infinity to plus infinity. So what are the observation of this expression? The FM signal has infinite number of sidebands at the frequency Fc plus minus NFM. Okay. So in case of wideband FM signal, what we can say, the number of sideband, the theoretical number of sidebands will exist from minus infinity to plus infinity. That indicates that the theoretical bandwidth of my wideband FM signal will be what? It will be equals to infinite. How we used to calculate the bandwidth? It will depend on the number of sidebands. The upper sideband minus lower sideband, we will get the bandwidth. In case of this wideband FM expression, here we are having infinite number of sidebands. So the total bandwidth, the theoretical total bandwidth in case of WBFM is equals to infinite. The relative amplitude of these sidebands will depend upon the value of this factor, that is Jn beta. The number of sidebands will be infinite and the amplitude of the sidebands will depend on this term Jn beta. AC by 2 is a constant, Jn beta is variable. The value of Jn beta will depend upon the value of n. As the value of n will vary, the value of this Jn beta will vary. What is this Jn beta? This is the basis function. So the number of significant sideband depends upon the modulation index beta. We can say how many significant sideband will exist. It will depend upon the modulation index beta with beta much lesser than 1. If we are considering the value of beta much lesser than 1, then only two sidebands will be significant, that is J0 beta and J1 beta. So where we are considering beta lesser than 1, it will become the case of narrowband FM. We will consider the value of beta greater than 1, then the number of significant sidebands will increase. So in case of beta much greater than 1, we will get many sidebands. Now some more points regarding this FM representation of the signal. This is the ideal frequency spectrum representation of ideal frequency spectrum of frequency modulated signal, where the first term or the center term we can say the carrier signal. Right to the carrier signal we will get infinite number of sidebands, and also going towards the left of this Fc we will get infinite number of lower sidebands. The amplitude of these sidebands will depend upon the value of Jn beta, that is the Bessel's function. The number of sidebands existing in the ideal spectrum will be infinite. This indicates the theoretical bandwidth of frequency modulated signal is infinite. Now how we can consider how we can have the amplitude of the sidebands we are getting in case of frequency modulated signal, that is depending upon Bessel function. So what is Bessel function? Bessel function is nothing, it is an useful function to represent the frequency modulated wave spectrum. The Bessel function is used to represent the complicated equations, or we can say the complex equations. So here the Bessel function is nothing, it is a function that is used to represent the FM wave spectrum. The general plot of Bessel function is given here, where the vertical axis represents the relative amplitude and the horizontal axis represent the value of modulation index beta. So as the value of beta is changing, the relative amplitude is also changing, J0 beta, J1, J2, J3, J4 and so on. Here we have some properties, useful properties of Bessel functions that will help us to decide the amplitude of our sidebands we are getting in case of frequency modulation, the j n beta is equals to minus 1 raised to the power n j of minus n beta for all values of n. Okay. The second property that j of n plus 1 beta plus j of n minus 1 beta is equals to twice of n by beta j n beta. The third property that the summation of n from minus infinity to infinity, the square of j n beta is equals to 1. For all the values of n from minus infinity to 2 plus infinity, the square of j n beta will always be equals to 1. The fourth property, for smaller values of beta, only the two sidebands are significant, that is j naught beta and j1 beta. The value of j naught beta is approximately equals to 1 and the value of j1 beta is approximately equals to beta by 2. And j n beta is approximately equals to 0 for n greater than 2. So, if the value of n is greater than 2, we can say the value of j n beta is approximately equals to 0 for smaller values of beta and for n greater than 2. Okay. Now, depending upon the expression that we have obtained for the case of frequency modulation, we have seen as n is existing from minus infinity to plus infinity, there exist infinite sidebands. But the number of significant sidebands we can calculate or we can approximate with the help of a thumb rule, according to which a sideband is significant if its magnitude is greater than equals to 1% of the unmodulated carrier, that is 0.01 times of AC. A sideband will be significant. If there are existing many sidebands, then the number of significant sideband we can approximate with the help of this condition, according to which a significant sideband will have the magnitude greater than equals to 0.01 times of AC. Okay. So, when j n beta is greater than 0.01 times of AC, that particular sideband we can consider as significant sideband. The actual number of significant sidebands can be found from the plot or the table of Bessel function that we have seen in the previous slide. The Bessel function plot shows that j n beta diminishes rapidly as n becomes greater than beta. If the value of n is becoming greater than the value of modulation index, then the Bessel function plot or the value of relative amplitude is going towards the 0, we can say. This is because the modulation index beta is a function of modulating frequency. The beta is a function of modulating frequency FM. It is inversely proportional to modulating frequency FM and directly proportional to the amplitude of the modulating signal, and FD is the frequency sensitivity parameter, that is equals to KF. So, the behavior of a spectrum will change as FM will be decreased or increased. Okay. So, for large value of FM we can say the signal is narrow band, two sidebands, and for a small value of FM we can say the many sidebands are significant. When the value of FM is large, beta will be small, and we can say it will be a case of narrow band FM. When the value of FM is small, the beta will be large, and we can say that it will be a case of wide band FM signal. Now, how we can calculate the transmission bandwidth of FM signal? So, in the last we have seen that how we can represent FM signal in terms of its complex envelope and in terms of the Bessel's function that will help us to calculate the bandwidth of our FM signal. But according to that expression, the theoretical bandwidth of FM signal is infinite. If as the number of sidebands are infinite, so the theoretical bandwidth of FM signal will be infinite. But in practice, it is effectively limited to a finite number of sideband frequency compatible with a small amount of distortion. So, there is a rule with the help of which we can calculate the transmission bandwidth of FM signal, that is called as Carson's rule. According to this rule, how we can calculate the bandwidth or how we can approximate the bandwidth of FM signal, the Carson's rule states that the bandwidth of FM signal is twice the sum of maximum frequency deviation and the modulating frequency. That is, in terms of expression, bandwidth is equals to twice of delta f plus fm, where delta f is the frequency deviation, fm is the frequency of modulating signal. We also know the relationship between beta, delta f and fm, that is beta, that is the modulation index, is equals to delta f upon fm. So with the help of this expression, we can convert this expression into this expression, that is bandwidth is equals to twice of fm beta plus 1, where beta represents the modulation index. So we can say the bandwidth of fm signal is depending upon the modulation index of the fm signal. With the help of this expression, now we can approximate or we can calculate the bandwidth in case of narrowband and wideband FM signal. That is, in case of narrowband FM, we know the deviation is much smaller than frequency of modulating signal, or the beta is much lesser than 1. So in case delta f, in this case delta f, that is the frequency deviation, can be neglected. If we will neglect the value of delta f in the Carson's rule bandwidth expression, we will get bandwidth is equals to twice of fm, that is equal to the bandwidth of amplitude modulated signal. So in case of narrowband FM, the bandwidth is approximately equals to twice the frequency of modulating signal. In case of wideband FM, the deviation is much greater than the frequency of modulating signal. So again, if we will put this condition in the bandwidth expression, we will get bandwidth is equals to or approximately equals to twice of delta f. That is the case of wideband FM signal. So this is how we can approximate the bandwidth of frequency modulated signal. So in this video lecture, we have discussed the generation and the generation of narrowband FM signal. Then we have obtained the expression of frequency modulated signal. With the help of that expression, we can calculate or we can obtain the number of significant sideband depending upon a thumb rule. With the help of Bessel's function, we can draw the frequency spectrum of frequency modulated signal. With the help of Carson's rules, we can approximate the bandwidth of frequency modulated signal. The theoretical bandwidth of frequency modulated signal is infinite, but we can approximate that bandwidth with the help of this Carson's rules, according to which bandwidth is twice of delta f plus fm. So this is all about this video lecture. Thank you everyone.